Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks number 25, continuing our playthrough of Balatro. And so, as with our previous video, two things to say up front. In terms of this video here, we're going to be playing the Checkered deck on the black stake. I would like to finish off a gold stake here before long. I've really ran into a wall on the orange stake with the yellow deck. I feel like we've done that video 3 or 4 or 5 times, and I've done some off-stream videos with that as well. And we just need to do something different. We need to switch to a different deck. And so I'm going to try and finish off the gold stick with the Checkered deck. I think it's a very powerful option. You don't have to build towards flushes every single game with this deck, right? The way I kind of think of it is if we're playing, say, the +1 discard deck, and we just build a high card deck with it, that's completely fine. But it's not that different playing the +1 discard deck and playing the Checkered deck in terms of just raw power level. If you're playing high cards, you don't even use your discards anyways. And so I feel like this is another reasonable way to really approach trying to nail that gold stake. Thing number 2, I'll try to make it brief. I mentioned it in the previous video. We're going to be moving away from Balatro here soon. I think I'm going to try and go to not Battles with Bust. That's the wrong game, right? That's the wrong series. We'll try to make it to Bust Builds Decks number 30 with Balatro, and then we're going to switch to Backpack Battles. I intend to make a Balatro recap video, and then also make a future of the channel video, if you will. Long story short, I don't feel like there's any game that I'm really going to be sinking my teeth into for years on end, and so I plan to move to more of a variety space within deck builders and auto battlers, and so Backpack Battles will be the one that we approach next. If there is a deck builder or auto battler that you're interested in, let me know, because I don't feel like these are really the kind of games that'll hold my interest for 6 months, a year, 4 years, as we had with Runeterra, and so I'm open to suggestions in that space if there's something there that you find interesting. But nonetheless, let's dive on in. Checkered deck, black stake, new run pushed. Hit that play button. Get into battle. So what do we got here? Reasonable start with the foil tag. Always happy to pick these up early. They basically ensure that you'll have no trouble defeating the first boss. That first boss is all spade cards are debuffed, which is half of our deck, but I'm very happy to see this thing turn up on round 1, as then we just know spades are safe the rest of the way, right? This isn't going to be one of these runs to where we've put 48 of 52 cards in our deck are spades, and then we hit the goad in round 8 and just fucking lose. And so seeing this turn up here at round 1 is kind of nice, and then of course the rerolls at the bottom I'm not super interested in, so we'll do battle with that blind. Okay, and so got the makings of a big spade flush. We'll just play towards the spades here at the beginning, but again, I'm not opposed to taking this deck in a different kind of direction. If we end up in that space to where we get presented with like the half joker or something, then it's very easy just to pivot into a high card kind of deck. We don't have to play flushes just because we have the easy flush deck here. But this new flush in hand, the 3 big cards, should very easily get us the 150 chips that we need. Let's see what sweet foil joker we get. I'm hype. I know you are too. Let's see. It's got to be that one that turns your 6s spectral or whatever. I'm just going to get pissed about it. What do we got? Ride the Bus. Okay, very powerful one. Another one that is quite interesting to have turn up at this early stage of the game. It just has that real build around power with it for not playing face cards and then having the foil attached to it. Something that I'm just very interested in. Now, I will say that Ride the Bus does work much better in a high card kind of strategy, right? If we're going to be playing through the rounds and we play 3 high card hands, that's going to give us 3 activations on Ride the Bus, to where if we play a flush and then just immediately end the round, we're not getting nearly as much malt out of that as we would as the game progresses. And so we'll see if we can't scale this thing up a little better. Not quite certain where we want to take our hand at this point, other than just not playing towards the face cards here. And so I think that what we're kind of interested in starting with is maybe just playing a high card 9. It does kind of count as a discard, and then the Ride the Bus will get upgraded a little bit. And so, it counted as a high card ace instead of the 9. Should have just played all of the cards straight through. But as we kind of looked at those previous hands, you could see that our flushes were scoring about 300 chips. And so if it really comes down to it, we can get out of this hand just playing 2 flushes. But with the 50 chips that we're getting out of Ride the Bus, I feel pretty safe in the sense that 1 flush is going to finish off the round. And so here, I think we'll just play this high card 6. I mean, we could play something like the 7 and actually score it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And Disaster's probably not going to strike in the sense to where we just don't end up with a flush, since we do have the 3 discards, but I think I'd just play it a little bit safe, ensure that we have that flush in hand, and then go off to the races. Shit, I played the fucking queen. God damn it. We put in all that work that round to get the 3 or 4 level ups on the Ride the Bus, and then I just fucking I didn't even think and made it go away. All right, well, maybe that'll at least be our reminder to not do that nonsense right here at the beginning. And so another interesting set. I do like the Fortune Teller, the +1 malt per tarot card played this round, but we already kind of have the scaling malt, and we don't really need to push towards both. And so I'm just going to stick with Ride the Bus. Otherwise, I think we should probably try and upgrade our gold a little bit, and so we'll skip on to the next round. So what do we got here? Always happy to pick up the Spectral Packs. These are quite good. Double your money, probably not going to be that strong here. We would need to hit the +20 gold on Skip a Blind to make it interesting, and then the final boss with the arm, decrease the level of the poker hand played. All of our hands are level 1, and so it's not like a problem there. So let's see what turns up in the Spectral. Something awesome, I'm sure. And so Hex adds Polychrome to a random joker, destroys the other ones. If we add Polychrome, it's going to destroy the foil, so there's no reason to use it. And then we can add a gold seal to a card in hand, which I'm reasonably happy to do. Won't want to do it to a face card. I'm planning on riding the bus to the very end, and so maybe we just upgrade this 10. That's our best non-face card that we have in hand here. There is, a bit of incentive to build towards spades, since we know spades are safe from that first round boss, but I don't think it's a big deal in terms of playing that direction. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get all of these face cards out of our hand, see what starts to turn up from here, and then I think it's fine to just start playing some smaller hands. We can drop these. I don't really want to drop the hearts in case that jack shows up, but I guess we could just play it at this point. I want to see where this high card hand gets us now, though. Just resetting everything. It's such a bummer. All right, let's see how high we get with the flush. I got to kind of figure out how these hands score. It's one of my problems with this game as to where I really wish that there was an Oracle's Eye to where we could just put all the cards forward and it would tell us, how strong that hand is. It would just be a real quality of life improvement for me. I get why it's not like that, to where you can just be like, oh, what does this hand score? Tell me. And you say, oh, what does this hand score? Tell me. And you can kind of just figure it all out that way. But it's just a real sour point to me to have to be like, all right, well, let's just play a hand for discovery and see what happens. And then see if we can't like min max while not knowing the kind of exact numbers. It just... Yes, I can sit here and figure out what this hand was going to score, but that's not a particularly fun exercise for me. And so there, ideally, we would have played a high card, then scored the good hand. To me, the solution to that kind of stuff, it would probably require rewriting the game and never being able to do it. But I feel like cards like Ride the Bus should give you 1 malt per consecutive hand played without scoring a face card, and at the end of the round, get +1 malt for each hand remaining. So you don't have to just sit there and figure all that bullshit out. Because it just, I don't know, it gives me a very not fun moment in terms of how the gameplay goes. But nonetheless, moving forward, converting to spades is kind of fine, but my other problem with this game is making the upgrades to your deck doesn't feel like that big of a difference. Now, with the deck that we particularly have, removing 3 hearts into 3 spades is a fairly big swing. It's kind of like a 6-card swing instead of just a 1-card swing that you would typically get off of a card, but I'm not certain if this thing is actually worth 3 gold. We really kind of need to pick up some jokers along the way. So I think I'm fine to go with the cartomancer, the map maker, if you will. That's what this guy writes. This should be like a magician of map making. I just know the cartographer is the map maker, and so maybe is that even right? He maps the terrain. I think that's what a cartographer does. So the cartomancer must be the wizard of maps. It's not a bad gig, I guess. So what do we got here? We hit the Hierophant, enhance 2 cards to bonus cards. That's quite strong. Trying to think. We can again, like, we should probably be able to get out of this with just 2 hands. Don't want to play the high cards though, so let's play the face card. So let's just lead off with this this high card 10. We'll see if we don't pick up some spades and some face cards to discard from there, and then we can try and manage our hand a little bit better in terms of what the Hierophant can do. All right, so we'll turn these big cards into bonus cards. I think we'll definitely be building towards hearts, like building towards that, building towards the, what was his name? What was his face? The singular gold seal on the heart wasn't enough reason to, but now that we're out here like investing bonus cards and stuff, we really need to just kind of lock into being on hearts. So here we can finish this hand off with pretty much anything. Only need 10 chips to go. Feels good. Get that ride the bus leveled up a little bit more. Should be at 9 instead of 6, huh? But is what it is. All right, so what do we got here? Misprint, I'm always a fan of. This is just a very, I don't know what the average value is on this thing. It seems like it should be, right around 10, depending on what the actual max value of the misprint is. I don't know if it's like 25 or what, but if it's around 20, then the average should be 10, and that's always pretty good. Otherwise, the green joker, very powerful in terms of playing towards high card, not that great in terms of playing towards flushes, right? It's that same kind of deal that we get with Ride the Bus, as to where you can just play high card, high card, high card and not have a problem. But if you're playing towards flushes, the green joker kind of requires you to discard to hit your second one. But I think we're actually building nicely towards a high card strategy here with the green joker and the Ride the Bus. I think we'll end up pushing away from flushes and looking to just play high cards or pairs or something here. And so let's see, reroll the boss blind, start with 0 discards, not worried about that. Rerolls are 0. This looks like a round to where we'll play against everything. Acquire more tarot cards, acquire more value on these green jokers. I'm on board. So we hit the Hierophant out here, enhance 2 cards to bonus cards. I guess, if we're playing towards playing towards hearts, this is just kind of the time to do it, right? We gotta upgrade these less than optimal guys out here in the back end, but I think it'll be okay. Drop that 7. And then there's nothing that says we can't just play a flush later, but I think that we'll be kind of good to go with these high card kind of strategies. May end up finding ourselves having to discard here a little bit. Like, it does seem like we're going to have to discard 1 or 2 here to get a real hand. But let's see. And we're kind of far away from the flush. So let's discard all of the face cards. See where that gets us. We do lose out 1 on the green joker. Just is what it is. And then, see, this is, again, like my thing. Like, I would really like to get 2 hands out of this, but it's such a bummer if we say, okay, I play my 4. That scores for, what is this, like 54, and then you have to do 9. That gets us up to like 540. That's like a 2,300 point hand or something. Like, I guess we have a good enough flush afterwards to just finish off the game at this point, but it's such a feels bad moment to play this hand and then be like, oh yeah, the game's actually done because you're 30 chips short when you could have taken a different route. Like, I don't know. I get that that's part of the strategy and design of the game, but it just seems like primed and ready to make feels bad moments. The thing to me is, like, you get to the point to where, like, at what point is the game just playing for you, right? If it calculates the totals of all your hands and you're like, well, if it calculates this hand, maybe it should calculate the next hand as well. You know, you start getting to that point to where it's doing all the work and you're just pushing a button while it while it comes in and just figures everything out for you. But nonetheless, moving forward, not super interested in the draw joker. We're pretty locked in terms of flat mult, right? We're going to get good value out of ride the bus and green joker. We really want some kind of like plus chip joker, and then we want X mult. And so we don't need to worry about hitting something like draw joker, especially as we look to play towards high cards. The thing I'm interested in here is spectral pack. You just see if we can't get a really high-powered hit out of it. Immolate's very good. Purple seal, excuse me, not nearly as enticing. We could be in kind of an interesting space with our cartomancer generating tarot cards and the medium generating tarot cards. If we had taken that +1 malt for every tarot card, but we didn't, so it's not a thing. We'll just play the Immolate, see where that lands us. Didn't seem spectacular in terms of cards destroyed, but we at least got ourselves up to that $25 mark, so we can start getting max value every turn. Gimme them interests. All right, so we generated a Wheel of Fortune. Let's just go ahead and use it. Oh my god, it actually hit. It never hits. The Wheel of Fortune literally never hits. And so what did we hit? Polychrome? All right. Well, we'll have to sell this eventually, but that's at least a pretty reasonably powerful thing here in the early game. All right, let's just play an ace. Let's play an ace after that. See where that scores us. 1,500. Okay. Here comes a 7. We got this like full house in hand if we need to do it, so I'm not worried about making sure we hit a flush or anything. We can follow up with the 4. I feel like we'll just get there with high cards anyways. Yeah, this will get us like 4,500 chips or so it doesn't matter that we could play the full house, but... Is it just too much? Oof, just too good. The 4 is too good. Alright, good stuff. So what have we got here? Planets, this is what I think is probably... I don't know if this is the second worst. I think the Joker that when you like play a single 6 and get a spectral card is arguably the worst in the game. 8-ball might be worse. You create a planet card if the play in hand contains 2 or more 8s. Like, this is probably worse than that spectral one. Both of them are just pure garbage, but don't want either of those. Let's snatch up this Arcana pack. See if we can't start crafting our way into something beautiful. And so what is this? Convert left to right. The Fool for the planet, that's the way you should always be going, right? Or the Emperor for 2 tarots. I'll just take the 2 random tarot cards here. I was kind of interested in Death. Like, I mean, maybe it's okay if we say convert the King into a 9. I thought it was going to be the one that upgrades the rank of 2 cards, so we could turn the King to Ace and 9 to 10, but wasn't the right one. You know, let's just get this face card out of the deck. They do it fucking backwards. Okay, well, I guess that one's on me. What do we got here? 8 of clubs bonus card. That's not bad if we're playing towards high cards and not, you know, caring about flushes. I think that's actually fairly powerful. All right, now let's move on. See how much we can fuck this up. What did we hit? We got Temperance in hand from the tarot card. Give us the sell value of the Jokers. We'll use that on the next round. No real reason to use it right now. Interesting. We just picked up this massive stack of face cards, and we don't have any discards this round. I do have a touch of worry about what's about to happen here. Now, our singular high cards in the last round seemed like they were kind of good enough. The last one was hitting for like 1,700 chips. Yeah, I mean, we're fine. I was gonna say, as long as this last card that we hit is not a face card, like if we end up in this random situation to where we just physically have to play a face card, that kind of sucks. But with this, the way this came together, we know that we should be fine in terms of playing the high cards. All right, 14 chips over. And so, man, in terms of life, I hope you all are getting prepared for the deviled egg season. We did the old Easter egg hunt over the past weekend. That's why I didn't get to make any videos over the weekend. I was doing Easter egg hunt stuff, making deviled eggs, cleaning the house, and all that nonsense. But this was embarrassing. This was like one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. Like the deviled eggs I made were probably the lowest quality deviled eggs I've ever made in my entire life. Like I put way too much mustard in it or some shit. They were all runny. They typically have this like nice fluffy texture to them, and they came out all runny. I guess it was like too much mayonnaise, too much mustard, and I didn't have like the heart to just like throw it away and go make new ones. And so, like it was just borderline bad enough to where I felt okay serving it to other people in the family. And so it was definitely like my misplay of the week, maybe even my misplay of the month. But people ate it and said it was okay. Like there's a couple of family members that once they've gotten a taste of old Bust's deviled eggs, they go to other deviled egg events and don't like theirs anymore because theirs aren't as good. And those people were still like on board with my eggs this time, and so I didn't feel completely bad about it. I don't feel like they were just trying to make me feel good about myself. You know, I feel like they were legitimately on board with the low quality deviled eggs, and so we had that going on. But it's coming up for you. I mean, you got to get ready for it. Easter's about here. If that's your thing, you gotta you gotta get prepared. But all right, let's focus back on the task at hand. And so seed money, I'm fine with. Raise the cap on interest to 10 per round. We're already over the mark, so that's kind of nice. We can collect a little bit more money with the Temperance Tarot card that we have up in hand. I am going to crack the standard pack though, see if we can't get some more worthwhile small cards to play as well. Gold card is fine, I guess. It doesn't really do much, but let's just take it. Good strategy, huh? Yeah, let's just take it. So the next pack cards are free. I do enjoy. We need to fill out our jokers here, and so I'm ready to just kind of come in and buy anything. Those previous jokers weren't good. I was busy talking about eggs. It was a 3 of a kind joker and a flush joker. Didn't want either one, but I'm fine with the coupon tag. Mega standard pack do not want though, and then the boss round clubs are debuffed is going to be fine. So let's go ahead and take the free round. Jump in here. We hit, ooh, another Wheel of Fortune in the land of the tarot cards. All right, let's see. We already got one. That's all we're gonna get until the series is over. So I don't know what anyone's expectations on what that Wheel of Fortune was gonna do. So what was that? It was hit at about 2K. So we might need to develop a real hand to play here. We still have our discards, right? It's not as scary as the previous round where we just didn't have any discards, but we're only at like 5K chips here. Yeah, we're going to have to play a real hand from this point forward. And so let's discard the face cards. The real question is, are we going to drop like a flush or are we going to drop a full house? And it's just kind of too tough to tell at this point. So let's just discard these face cards. Now we have hit a flush. I think that's safe to go ahead and drop in just a little, higher scoring hand at this point. Okay, feeling better. That got us up to 6K or so. And then we hit a second flush with a bonus card here on the second hand. So definitely getting out of this round a little bit easier. I was getting a little tense there, but I think we're fine. Okay, 6K over the mark, not bad. All right, let's see what kind of free shit we can get. And so, +1 discard Joker. Not excited about it, but it is free. So we'll go ahead and snatch that one up. 4 gold at the end of the round is fine as well. We'll circle back to it. If we hit something that lets us generate a Joker, I might be a little bit more interested in that. Here, the holographic 8 is fine. If we're playing towards high cards, it's pretty reasonable. coming from these. Increase the rank of 2 cards. That's what I was talking about earlier, wanting to upgrade the kings. It's not that great here. You know, if we were upgrading kings to aces, that would be fine, but you know, turning these 5s into 6s or something isn't really impressive. Steel card is good though, and then convert to clubs don't really want. And so let's pick up the steel card. I don't know, like I don't feel like we'll ever discard the 2. We just play it as a flush card, so that's probably pretty reasonable. All right, so we'll snatch that one up. Come in, grab this joker. Now, it's interesting here in the sense that, right, we can crack the temperance, but it's like we're at 50 now, so we will be making max usage of that voucher that gives the double interest, right? I think it, I don't remember if it just doubles it or raise the cap on interest to 10 per round, right? So if we're at 50, we're at kind of max interest here, but that was not a particularly strong hand that we just finished. So maybe we take a reroll, see if anything interesting turns up. It is the tarot card joker. Not quite interested in what's this, the X3 for straights? Yeah, okay. We'll save our money from there. We'll just keep in mind that we might have to play, you know, multiple flushes this round to try and get out of it. So we hit the hermit for our tarot card. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Get that 20 gold. Now let's see. We could just play like a 2 pair. I'm not quite certain what that'll score. Let's see. Got us to 5K. All right, sure. So we can play the bonus card ace and the bonus card 5 and see where that gets us. All right, 5K out of that one. Feeling much better now. So I guess we could just play this 3 of a kind 5s. I don't know if that's going to be enough to finish off the round or not. It's like the value that we get out of the actual hand isn't that big. So just barely went over. Maybe we should have just played a pair. Yeah. Got a fuckload of money though. Time to get some good stuff. So what have we got here? The runner. We're not playing straights. That's going to be garbage here. I don't really want economy-based jokers. We already have the golden joker in terms of economy, so that's fine. Let's crack the Arcana pack. See if we can't start getting stuff this way. So diamonds, malt cards, clubs, gold card, and stone card. Probably just want the stone card. Let's convert this jack into stone. Just going to be, you know, multi-pronged useful for us in terms of getting face cards out, and then also working nicely with our pair hands. So here, I'm not going to spend all this money on celestial packs. I just don't think it's going to be worth it. So let's take a reroll, see if interesting things turn up. Good to pick up a steel card. That's fine. Let's just take another roll. 13 mult for each queen in hand is quite strong, especially since we have just picked up our second steel card. And so I'm pretty interested in this, right? It's like with all the work that we've put into like Ride the Bus, it's at 23. The green joker is at 15. Like that's barely one queen in hand. But I don't know. We haven't done any work to keep them. And we still have the 4, but I'd like to get rid of them. And I probably just don't need it. All right, next round. So what do we got? Shop has a rare joker is fine. Mega Arcana pack is fine, but I don't think I'm that interested in it. We have all this gold. I'd rather spend it. And then at the end, after play or discard, always draw 3. I always forget that this round is happening, but it's not too detrimental to what we're doing since we'll just come out and play high cards anyways. So we hit the Hanged Man off of our Tarot. Very powerful. Let's load up something as steel, though. We could save it for the boss, I guess, but let's just run it out now. We play high card Ace with the bonus malt. Yeah, see, the steel cards aren't that great, right? The difference here is the things like the green joker and the ride the bus add to the malt after, right? So you play your hand, you get the 1.5 malt from playing a high card, then the steel card hits, and then they start collecting. With that queen thing, to where you get the plus malt for the queens in hand, it activates in order from the bottom. So your hand scores, you get that shitty 1.5 malt, but then if we have a queen, you get 13 malt, and then as your steel card hits, you get another 6.5 or whatever that value would be. So you get a lot more value that way. But we didn't do it. We just have to push forward. Let's play this pair of sevens with the stone card. Might have to switch to flushes after this. Gets us up 10k. Feel a little bit better about that, but yeah, I think we want to switch to flushes, and so we only have 4 at this point. We're going to have to get rid of the king, spend a little bit of discards. It's not incredibly detrimental. All right, there we go. Is that actually a straight flush? Yeah, not bad. $14K got us out of the round. I wasn't certain if that was going to. I felt like we could. We definitely weren't losing the round, but didn't get that extra malt on the ride the bus. Currently up to 26. Not bad. Very, very powerful joker here. So what do we got with this DNA? This is like the biggest build around joker in the game. Most of the people that you're seeing make like obnoxious high roll runs are typically playing seeded runs that involve DNA, or they involve pachinko, or whatever the legendary joker is that makes your scoring obnoxious. Pachinko, is that it? Plinko is the game on The Price is Right. Is pachinko the Japanese slot machine? I feel like I'm just saying something racist and I don't realize it. If that's accidental racism, it was not intentional. I think that's the word, but not trying to be a dick. We'll move on before before I say something ridiculous. Nonetheless, DNA. It's too late in the run to really make usage out of it. We can make good usage out of it. I mean, maybe if the first hand of the round only has 1 card is what we're doing anyways, we can get rid of the drunkard. The downside to DNA is that we're stuck with it, right? It's eternal. We can't sell it on ante number 8 and put in a plus chip kind of card. And like, what are we realistically going to pick up with this? Like 3 or 4 more cards along the way? It's just not going to be worthwhile. Like I want to make the highlight reel, but I know it's not going to hit. So as far as this goes, in case you forgot, we have the Hanged Man in hand. I know you can't see it, but we'll definitely use it here to get rid of the 2 face cards. Then with these others, I saw the Stone card in here. This is the one that I'm definitely interested in. The Fool is in here if we had a bunch of face cards to get rid of, but I think that we would prefer Stone. The bonus cards are nice. I feel like that's the kind of space we're lacking in, but this is just where we're getting the bigger chips off the singular high card hands. All right, so we did that. Celestial Pack, fine. It's 4 gold. Yeah, I don't want these. We did hit high card within. I guess that makes our steel cards better, but such a crapshoot with these. We passed on the Tempest like super early. That's the one that lets you get the most commonly played hand always shows up, but it was way too early to take it. So here, not interested in economy cards. We'll take 1 more roll before we move on. Raised Fist, I do love. This is one of my favorite jokers, but our deck isn't super tuned to dealing with it, right? You really want to be in the space to where you play a high card hand, but you play, say, like ace and then the 4 smallest cards in your hand, and then you're starting to spike your kings and stuff, getting the full 20 malt off of this. But we're going to be in too many spaces to where we're going to get like plus 12, right, or plus 8 or something off of the Raised Fist, and it's just not going to work here, right? Our flat malt is already good enough with Ride the Bus at 26 and Green Joker at 16, so we'll skip on that. Random Joker, don't really want. Okay, next round. Under the Serpent. Play a hand, draw 3. Our card for the round is the Fool. I guess we can go ahead and use him. It's landing on high card planet. Go ahead and smash that up on the boss here. And then I think, like, I'm kind of interested in just playing a high card hand like this. Like, maybe we just actually play all of the small cards and look for our better high card offerings in the sense that, you know, we want bonus cards, we want stone cards. I don't want to sit here and just play the hands across the board. I don't think our hands are quite good enough to do that. We got 5k off of that one. Definitely need some upgraded stuff. Shit, I forgot it was this dumbass round. All right, we'll play the pair of 8s. Is it just worse? Yeah, the pair's just worse. We get 25 by 3. In terms of chips, this would be 33. And then adding in the second 8 would only be 26. So yeah, we'll just play the singular 8. They get us 8k. We're gonna have to start digging for flushes. So we can discard the 3 face cards. Gotta remember after the discard we're only going to draw 3, and so we could just discard 1 and draw 3, but might as well just go ahead and get rid of all of the face cards. Now where do we stand? Like, we could play a high card 9. That just frightens me a little bit. Let's just discard this 5. Now we have a little bit of a better flush, right? We have ace 10, 10, 9, 4, but I don't really want to play the 4. I'm kind of envisioning that we might play the pair of 4s with the 2 stones. And so I'm thinking we just get rid of the 9. See if we can't pick up a better flush or a different 4. I guess in that sense, maybe we want to discard the 8. So if we end up playing, say, like 3 of a kind 9s, yeah, I think I like that a little bit more. What do we got? Ace, ace, 10, 10. The 9 if we want to do that. We did pick up 2 steel cards as well. Is that going to be good enough? All right, let's run it. Got us to 15k. All right, I think we're in decent shape now, but let's see if we can't improve on the... We're going to play the 5s now that we hit the bonus card, but let's just discard this 2, see if we pick up another 5 along the way. Did not, so we'll go 5, 5, stone, stone. It's better just to play the high card 5, right? I think this will be 6k. We get quite a bit of chips out of this. We get the 100 off of the stone, then the 30 off of the bonus. Okay, good deal. A little worried, but we got through there at the end of the day. Another cat wanting to hang out. You want to hang out, bud? Nope, he's meowing at me. This is Bernard. It's not Pepper from the previous video. She's right here. But all right, what have we got here? So hand can take 3 of a kind, never doing that. Red cards count and black cards count as the same suit. Not really interested in that, and so we'll look to start rolling here. We have hit the telescope now, which I think we want to come in and just improve the high cards as much as we can, ensure that it shows up with every celestial pack. We have a celestial pack out here, but let's open the Arcana pack first. What do we got? Increase rank, glass card, gold card, lucky card, and bonus card. I like these bonus cards the most, I think. We'll take the ace and the 10. Could have hit 2 hearts to stay in the same suit, but man. Oh, I didn't realize we were going to go for 2. All right, well, let's turn this king into an ace. If we were going to get 2, I would have leveled up both of the aces, but Is a little sloppy. Okay, then Celestial, definitely taking high card. Oop. And we still got a bit of cash here. Let's spend a reroll and see what turns up. Oop. So is that full house? Not super interested in, but it is pretty cheap, and then straight flush as well. I guess we'll just take him. We're not really strapped for cash at this point. We're getting to that stage of the game to where we're just going to reroll all of our money anyways, and so maybe that little bit of stats will be relevant to where I don't think the $3 is going to be. All right, so what do we got here? Holographic tag, very interested in, right? At this stage, like, we need to get to our kind of final build. I would like another, like, flat chip card, be it foil or be it a physical joker that gives flat chips. And then the thing that we're really lacking is picking up X malt. Like, that's what really scares me in terms of us actually finishing off this run. We're in great shape with the green joker and the ride the bus giving flat, but we need to fill out those other spaces. And so, like, the drunkard and the golden joker and the cartomancer can almost definitely go. But we need to, like, pick up those lacking points in our jokers or we're never going to finish this thing off. And so we'll at least pick up the holographic tag on here. We'll do battle against the big blind. It is worth noting the final boss is all heart cards are debuffed. And so it's certainly beatable, but it does give me a bit of concern. So then in terms of our jokers, we hit Justice to turn into Glass. I feel like we're gonna need to save that for the boss. And so don't quite want to use it just yet. So here we'll play the 7, get rid of these smaller cards to look for a different bonus card for our next hand. I think we're doing it. Was that about 10k? Gotta think how much we're doing it. I kind of want to build towards this flush in the back. We can play a single jack here since it won't score with the ace coming down. And then we'll see if we can't run into a flush without having to use discards. $10k there. Yeah, we're gonna have to start playing bigger hands. 8 of diamonds. I would love to just drop, but I'm a little concerned that we're even gonna beat this round, and so I mean maybe we have to just use the glass card now. It's not that strong, right? I mean, can you glass this 8? Okay. Maybe that's a thing, because our high card is the way to kind of get the most the most flat malt from the get-go. I'm going to lead off with this flush, just see where it takes us. I probably shouldn't have glass carded that 8, but I mean it's going to give us, I think it gives, I'm not certain of the ordering on this. I think it gives you the X2 malt and then the 10. We might have just lost this one. We might need to find a full house style hand with this 8. Let's see. Let's discard all of these bad ones. Sucks to be losing a little bit of malt here, but there we go. And so I think the stone is probably better than the full house. Right, 3 of a kind is 30 by 3. Full house is 65 by 6. Well, that malt is what's going to be the important thing here. So let's just drop the full house in. All right, we won the round, but we cracked our 8. So it is what it is, I guess. That was a little stressful. I was not really confident in what we're doing there. We definitely need to get these jokers upgraded. These rounds are way too close. And here, fantastic one to have turn up, right? With the half joker, you get 20 malt if you have 3 or fewer cards, along with being foil. Just absolutely perfect. And so I think we just get rid of the drunkard. He's not super important at this stage. We'll pick up the half joker. Does just about everything that we want it to do. Let's crack this Arcana pack first. We're going to open the Buffoon pack as well, but if we land on something like the Hermit, I want to make sure we still have a bunch of money. Probably wouldn't be running out of money at any rate, but let's turn this Queen to stone. Okay, okay. Definitely feeling a little bit better now. We definitely got some good upgrades there. What are these? Ace 258 give bonus mult when scored. Fibonacci, it's not bad. Like we made that commentary earlier about the Queen Joker getting applied to steel cards, to where our Green Joker and our Ride the Bus do not. Fibonacci is one of those cards that ties into steel cards, and so it is a little interesting. I mean, it's definitely better than having golden jokers, but with our deck, we're not playing a ton of cards, right? We're going to be playing the half joker with the small cards, and the things that we need are chips and X malt. We don't need flat malt anymore, so I think we'll let it go. Cloud9 don't want, flat malt don't want, and then, excuse me, common jokers don't really want. So let's take a roll. Is that? I didn't realize we were still holographic. That's, well, kind of is what it is. This isn't a great joker, but I don't really want the economy cards anymore, so... Ooh, this is Eternal. I was like, well, this is definitely just better than having the Eternal Joker, right? The Eternal Joker, or the Gold Joker doesn't score, but not being able to sell this guy is a real pain point. Right, he gives 14. He's far and away our worst flat malt Joker. Alright, well, I guess we lost some gold. It is what it is. Now let's see what we can do here. So no hearts. Create a random Joker. I guess that's a reasonable time for that tarot card to turn up. And this is interesting. It gives X malt and then it eats your enhancements, right? So I think that's okay. We definitely need to pick up a flat malt card, but he works out kind of fine here. And so let's just discard a bunch of stuff and see if we can't level up the vampire a little bit. Oh god, that's a queen. I almost did it. I was like, oh, it's out here on the left. Let's just go ahead and drop that one. No. 10 with the 2 stones. What the fuck just happened? Oh no, are you fucking kidding me? What the actual fuck? Okay, it didn't reset. It didn't reset. I thought this was when you drew them. You gain the bonus malt per enhanced card played. Oh my gosh, that was such a scary moment. Like, I put the stone cards out and didn't expect it to do anything. And like as soon as the ability like ripped off, I was like, "Oh fuck, this is not good." But it didn't play out that way, so it was kind of safe. It was kind of fine. But here we could let's just play the high card 10 and say we can play the pair of 10s and not worry about the queen. But let's just go ahead and get the 10 out there and level up the vampire a little bit more. Okay, looking good. So this is when it's played. So we should be able to play the Steel 3 and take the enhancement off of it. It's so weird. We played it, but it wasn't scored. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Alright, got out of the round. If this Ride the Bus got canceled out to 0, that was going to be obnoxious. I was ultimately worried that was just fucking done. But, okay, we made it through there. We know exactly what we need. We just need a plus chip card, and then we'll be set. We can get rid of the Cartomancer if that kind of thing turns up. And so let's see. I'll kick it off with a Spectral Pack. Don't want to destroy jokers, gold seals, whatever. Copy a joker, not really interested in, and so we'll just add the red seal onto something. Congratulations, ace card. I don't remember if the red seals get taken off by the vampire. It seems like they probably should, but I'm not certain if that's a thing. well, we can buy and use Temperance. It's going to give us 17. Only costs 3. Give us a net 14 gold. Molt for planet cards, just too slow at this point. Don't want the diamond upgrade, we want chip upgrades. Misprint, don't want. How many uncommon jokers do we have? Just 2, but we're looking to sell 1. I don't think that's gonna get it done. We'll take 1 more roll. Not what we need. Okay. So on to Ante 7. Rare Joker is kind of fine. The discards I would almost rather have than the rare Joker. Right, I just want to find a plus chip card, so we can deal with that. And then all face cards drawn or face down. That's fine. We just won't play any. We won't play any face down cards, and we'll be good. So what do we got here? Convert left card to right in terms of our new tarot. Let's go ahead and play that. We'll turn this. Get it the right direction this time. We'll turn the Jack into a 7. Right, left to right. We'll level up our vampire as we go here. All right, 31k, looking good. Let's go ahead and drop this 7. Be pretty done after that one. To X2 on the vampire. All right, moving along. What up, bud? You want to be on the internet? Come here. Oh my gosh. Here he is. Good old Bernard. Say what up. Says what up, internet. I'm hard to see because I'm a void. All Bust has a black shirt on. Never see the kitty on the internet. Poor guy. Always makes me sad. I've mentioned it a few times. I don't know how valid it is. I didn't look for the study, but apparently the voids, the black kitties, don't get adopted as much because they don't show up well on Instagram, right? And so if you're wanting to purchase a cat and get the internet points on Instagram or whatever, they don't photograph well because, I don't know, shadows or some shit, and they don't get adopted as much. This poor guy. Poor guy. I'm sure someone would have adopted him. He's a delightful little fella. But all right, let's jump back in here. So what do we got? The Mystic Summit, just not what we need. It is worse than all of the other flat malt jokers we have, so we can skip it. Let's open Arcana pack, see what turns up. We're going to open that Celestial pack for high card as well. We got Wild, convert left to right, might do. Gold, convert left to right, don't want, and 2 random tarots. Okay, so let's convert left to right. Just get these queens out of the deck. Guess we'd probably rather turn the queen into a 10. Again, I don't remember how the gold seal works here. If it gets removed by the Joker, I'd like it to get removed by the Joker, and so we'll see if that brings itself up. Got high card. Let's take a couple rolls. What do we got? First face card, never using. Card and hand abilities, just absolute worst Joker to use with Vampire. Malt for straights, no. Economy card, no. Ooh, this one has chips. It's interesting. Like, I don't really want the Cartomancer anymore. We're getting, pretty decent value out of the 1.5x Polychrome, but, like, I really just want chips at this point. I feel like that's the only thing that we're really lacking in, and so I'm going to go for it here. I don't know if this is ultimately better or not, and I'm not opposed to just selling this thing later, but it's getting us closer to just the stuff that we need. So I think I'm good there. I'm going to skip this blind for the money. Face cards are drawn face down, that's fine. And let's see if we can't take this boss down. Ooh. All right, so we got an 8 with an enhancement. Slowly climbing up that malt from the vampire. $43K. All right, we should be good to go here. Got a bonus 5. And the steel 3. All right, get us into that final ante. See if we can't take this one down. There are some fairly bad jokers we could run into. Play a single hand. We can't beat. You can only play a hand one time is going to be tough. There's some definite pain points in here, so we'll have to see what actually turns up. But what do we got? DNA, again, walkie-talkie, don't want any of those. I am going to open up this standard pack. I forgot about this a while ago, wanting to eat these enhancements. And that's just the only reason we're going to take it here. And so let's pick up this holographic 6. It's another enhancement to eat. Celestial pack we can open. High card. We'll take a couple of rolls here. Malt, don't want. Celestial 4 of a kind, don't want. Every 6 hands I'm not going to deal with. I would like the plus chip card, but not for flushes. Wheel of Fortune, gonna take that. Let's use it. Nope. Big surprise. All right, next round. So what do we got? A very large blind in the big blind. That is scary. We were not particularly close to 540,000. And so I think we're going to have to play through all of these blinds. I do kind of like the idea of polychrome tags to help us scale just a little bit, but I don't think we can score enough at this point. Okay, so the seals stay, but the other enhancements go. Good to know. But playing through these 2 blinds should give us a bit more time to scale up the Ride the Bus, a bit more time to scale up the Vampire, and just try and get some stats that way. Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just play this 2 pair with 5 cards. We're not gonna get the half Joker. I think this is probably still too good, but I don't want to spend any discards, and I do want to try and remove some more enhancements. And so too much. This close, though. So it was that first hand, that single ace got us like 80k, and that like be 320 or so. And so I'm definitely worried about that. Let's see. Got to start cracking this stuff. I'm not going to spend all of our money this round because we are going to play against another blind, and the rerolls do get progressively more expensive, but we're gonna spend a few dollars on this, probably go down to 25, 30 gold or so. All right, so we'll take the lucky card. Gonna buy and use the tarot card thing. What do we got? Convert to spades, not super interested in, and we'll take the sell value of the jokers. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna sell that dumb thing. We'll create the random tarot cards and say maybe something interesting will turn up. The Hermit turned up, so we just get a fuckload of money. The Magician for lucky card we'll hang on to, and then I'm interested in bonus card here as well. These are going to be, great ways to use against the final boss. And so if we can make sure that we have an enhancement on every hand that we play, that'll be pretty good. Now I just want stuff that gives us bonus chips. Scrolling fast, I'm sorry, but none of these do it. Temperance will give us a bonus 12 gold. Cards don't want. Face cards don't want. Lovers, and then 4 chips for 4 of a kind we're never going to do. So we'll stop at the 30 gold there. Save it for this next round once the re-rolls have reset. And so I'm kind of interested in using one of these tarot cards. I feel like we could probably pick up another one on the next round. So we got the ace. We can remove the malt thing. Up to X3 on the vampire at this point. Whew, okay. 77k. I guess we could have played a couple of more cards there, but right. Ooh, the final shop before the final showdown. I'm worried. I'm a little worried about this one. We need, like, we're playing 4 hands at a time, and we need them to score like over 100k apiece. It is not looking good. I'm glad to see these celestial packs turn up though. This is a nice bit of scaling right before the final boss. No complaints there. So we're just taking the high card ones to get it up to 185 chip and 9 malt. Let's see what we can roll. Can't play face cards. No bonus chip cards. No bonus chip cards. Is this better than something? 28 off the... Well, it's giving us more than the half joker and the misprint, but they have the flat chips on them, and I think the flat chips are a little bit more important at this stage. Let's keep rolling. No. It's 2 pair. Retrigger is usually pretty powerful, but we've taken all the enhancements off of our cards, so it's not going to do anything. All right, one more roll. Didn't really hit. All right, well, I feel like we're probably short. We didn't find a way to cancel out this big blind. We're just really lacking in what we're going to be able to do here. Now, I guess this is somewhat interesting, right? What if we play like 7s full of 9s and use the Hierophant to give 2 bonus cards and then just really ramp up what the vampire is capable of doing here in the early game? Or we could play a flush instead. Just the downside to that kind of thing is our high cards are so good, right? 85 by 9 to where a flush is at... I guess it's not that different. All right, I think that's the way we'll take this. I'm going to hold on to the deuce. I want to pick up the vampire off of it. Here we just want any other heart that we can play, right? 10, 9, 7, that's good enough. So we'll upgrade the vampire as much as we can on the first hand of the round. And then we do still get the bonuses off of these things, right? We get the plus 30 chips off of... Nope, doesn't happen. Not how that works. Okay. $77K. Yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked. So we'll play the 2. Oh, we need the 2 by itself so it actually scores. That's a bummer. 107K off of the 2. I mean, maybe the ace on its own will be a little bit better since it gets to double score. We can look for like additional enhancements, I guess. Losing out on the couple of points of malt doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me. So we've got the flush. It's going to give us the gold card cycle, whatever. It's the vampire up to X4. Brutal. And then we can play the ace. It's still just not going to be enough. Boop. That's a loser, my friends. That's a loser. And so, I mean, it's tough. I'm not certain. We had a couple of things in there, right? I think we made good recognition of where our deck was going, right? The high cards were the place to be. We hit the jokers with that. Like, I know that we're playing the flush-based deck, but whatever. Like, the high card strategy was here. We landed on it between the ride the bus and the don't discard anything joker. Like, we had the perfect scaling coming in with those, but you know, you have to hit the 3 different types of jokers, right? You need the chip jokers and you need the X malt jokers. And we hit the X malt joker, but the downside to the X Malt Joker that we had was it strips all of our enhancements. And so we did have some ways to hit chips, right? We had a handful of bonus cards, we had a handful of stone cards, and all of that nonsense just got taken away from us because of the X Malt Joker that we took. And so I'm not certain how I feel about the choices we made within this run, right? Because there's two ways that you can look at it, in the sense that um, we took the first playable X Malt Joker that we found, which was the vampire thing, and was that too greedy? In the sense that we could have picked up some different ones later. We didn't see any of them that I particularly like, but we could have picked up something later, perhaps, as to where we held on to the enhancements that we had. But the opposite side of that coin is we did re-roll through like 150 gold, and we found 0 jokers giving bonus chips. Like the only bonus chip jokers that we saw were like 150 chips for 4 of a kind, or maybe there was 80 chips for a flush. Like it wasn't any of the like particularly good ones that you would want in this style of deck, or could even activate in this style of deck. And so it's not even a matter of them not being optimal, it's a matter of them being unplayable. And so like it's tough for me to decide what went wrong there. Is it either A, we just ran into like a bitch of a joker, right? We knew we couldn't beat the needle. We knew we couldn't beat, you can't play the same hand multiple times. We really struggle against something like the big blind there. But it's just like, that's just high roll, whatever. But across all of the rolling that we did, we saw no opportunities to re-roll the blind, and we saw no opportunities to pick up chips. And so I don't know, it's like one of those things to where you're playing Teamfight Tactics and you're playing a level 7 and then roll down comp. And so if you're not familiar with that, you just save up all of your money until you get to level 7 or until you get to level 8. You spend all of your money trying to find specific units, and if you find the specific units on your roll down, then you win, and if you don't find the specific units on your roll down, you lose. And like that's the kind of thing that it felt like we ran into here, is to where we hit like the very good like flat malt jokers. We had the things that we needed in terms of flat. We didn't have the chip and the malt, the X malt. We found X malt, that's good, we know what we need to roll for now. We rolled for it and missed. And it's tough for me to feel like if that's the kind of space that we landed in, or if it was just a matter of we should have kept the enhancements that we had, the stone cards and the like, as our plus chips, and then just tried to find a better X malt card later on, which would have left us in that same just kind of roll down scenario. And so it's tough. Like, I know there are things across the course of the run that we could have done differently that would have made it better. We like messed up our ride the bus on the very first hand of the game, but there was like 4 or 5 or 6 different hands across the course of the game to where we just missed out on malt because we cashed in the hand too early. And it's the things like that that really kind of start to add up. And while I think we should be able to kind of cruise through these mid stakes, you can't realistically beat the high stakes without taking that stuff into consideration. And so it's a bit of a bummer in that sense, to where when you're playing those higher stakes, you either get a super high roll and just smash, or these kind of mid level runs here to where things are kind of going okay, but you didn't like land a super big joker on the first piece of the game, and you need things to kind of come together. Those are the ones to where you have to do all the fucking math to figure out if you're playing optimally enough to win, and I just have no desire to do that. And so that's ultimately what's kind of pushing me away from Balatro in the sense, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, I think we hit a good strategy here. I think there's a lot of high points here in terms of pointing out that you don't have to play flushes with the checkered deck. I think we hit on some good deck building strategy. I think we hit on some of the pain points of the game that I'll be talking about in our review. A lot of good stuff that happened in this video, even though we didn't get the victory at the end of the day. It's nonetheless good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bustin'. We thank you for being here.